my friends, how you doing? I am doing. I'm doing. I'm alive. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm alive, and I want to thank you. I'm making this video early because I had a rough night. It was a rough night last night, and let me tell you something. I had a good weekend. I had a really good weekend, a pleasant weekend, a better weekend than I've had in a long time. Okay, usually my normal weekend consists of either staying home, cleaning the house, cataloging Blu-rays and DVDs and 4Ks and stuff like that, and keeping myself busy, editing videos, putting them on TikTok, putting them on Instagram, so I can try to publicize my channel. And that's what I do. I do it to keep my mind and my head busy. But I think I put myself through a little bit of an anxiety shock this weekend. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the first. Yeah, there's gonna be stuff I'm gonna show you here, but this is more about what happened to me this weekend. So first of all, we get invited to go to a cookout at my mother's. Now, no offense to my mother, but there's been some hurt stuff in the past. There's been some hurt stuff in the past. And on the exterior, no matter how much fun, happiness, and joy, and stuff that I feel like I'm bringing people, and I'm making people laugh for like hours and hours and hours, usually I'm talking about things that happened to me as a child. And like a great stand-up comedian, like the great Robin Williams, like the great any great comedian, usually your life becomes the humor. Okay, because that's just a fact. That's how you come up with your material. You live things, and then you tell people about things. And when you tell people about things, it becomes very humorous and funny, and people. I've been doing this for years, and this like I said, once again, this is not a mother bash video. This is a me video. This is a fact that I have a problem. Okay, I have a terrible anxiety problem due to the fact that my childhood wasn't so bright, and it probably wasn't good for her, and it probably wasn't good for anybody else that was involved in it, but because there was a lot of fighting and a lot of hitting, a lot of hurting, a lot of issues. Okay, there was a lot of things that were going on. So when I used to work at a mill back in the day, I used to call it my sit down. I used to do, instead of doing stand up, I did sit down. I would go to the office, I sit in a chair, I tell my boss about my day, my week, my month, my childhood, and I tell him, and hey, and the other boss would come in, and he'd be in there laughing. Sometimes some other workers would come in, and they'd want to hear the story too. And yeah, I know everybody should have been working, but instead they were listening to my childhood stories and laughing their heads off. Kind of like what I do to you guys. Kind of like when I tell you guys things about what's going on in my life. It's like a normal thing. I was always told by all of my supervisors and the people I've run into in my life that my life should have been a sitcom. I should have been like a Seinfeld. I should have been like a Married with Children. I should have been one of them guys, because something happens to me every single day, and it's been that way forever. It's been that way my whole entire life. And sometimes they're not good things. Sometimes they're not funny things. Sometimes they're not things that personally in my heart are funny to me. But when I tell somebody something that happened, it's funny. Okay, for instance, okay, so we were at this cookout thing. And we're talking about my brother was there. And I don't see my brother. I haven't seen my brother in a long time. We'll see him every once in a while. He's a busy guy. He got things going on too. He got his own personal issues. No. Once again, no attacking going on today. But he's a busy guy, so I rarely see him. So when he shows up at the cookouts or he shows up at the things, then it's kind of fun because he kind of acknowledges or confirms this crazy world which was my life as a child. Because some people tell me that this never happened. No, it never happened. You get those people in your life that kind of either they blacked it out because it was so bad, or they just turn a blind eye on it. They're like, I don't want to hear that. That did not happen to you. You had a great childhood. Everything is wonderful. You had a Christmas tree every year that was full of presents, and you had things going on. But they forget about the fighting. They forget about all the fighting. They forget about the hurting. They forget about the screaming. They forget about the things being thrown across the room and the things being smashed They forget about that time that dad was like, oh, you don't want me to have anything nice? You don't want me to have anything nice? And he destroys his own guitar. He takes a guitar. He loved this guitar. He had this guitar that he used to love. He played guitar all the time, acoustic guitar, sing songs to us. He'd take the thing out, go to people's families, go to family get-togethers. He brings his guitar, he plays guitar, and he always singing the songs by like Jim Croce there. He's like, operator, would you help me take? He'd be singing that kind of stuff. Or you go over there, he'd be singing that, if I could have time in a bottle. Or be singing some Cat Stevens there. It's like, it's not time to take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. He'd be singing all of that depressing stuff, and people would be thinking he's cool because he could play guitar. I ain't gonna take that away from him. But one day I aggravated him. I think I asked him for something. I know what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Ozzy Osbourne was releasing his new album. I believe it was No More Tears. And I said, hey, Dad, can I have $10 to buy the cassette tape? Can I, my friends all got it. I want to get it. Can you do me a favor? Do me a solid, Dad. Do me a favor. And can you loan the boy $10 so I can go buy the Ozzy Osbourne No More Tears cassette tape? And he's like, I guess he forgot the fact that I come home from school every day and I do the dishes. I come home from school every day. And I was a younger guy, okay? I come home from school every day and I cook the supper and I make sure supper's on the table every day. And I come home from school every day and I clean and sort laundry and do that kind of stuff. He forgot about all that stuff, I guess. Because I guess there's no compensation for doing things like that when you're younger. Back in those days, like back in those 90s, around 90-ish or whatever. It was probably earlier than 90, maybe 80. Whatever the year the No More Tears album. It wasn't even New York No More Tears. It was an Ozzy Osbourne album, okay? So it might not have been No More Tears. It might have been like a Bark at the Moon. Whatever it was Ozzy Osbourne, and I wanted it. And I asked him for $10. And so first he starts with this. He's like, you want, and he just got paid. I knew he just got paid. He made $360 a week. I remember that, like $360 or $340 a week working where he worked. Just got paid. And I'm like, Dad, can I have $10 to get the Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape? Everybody's got it. Okay, the No More Tears. They all got that, and I wanted it. Okay, can I please? I wasn't rude. I was very, very polite. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. My son, my daughters, whatever. Every once in a while they slip up. They're older though. My son's like 17 years old. My other daughter's 19 years old. The other one's gonna be 21 years old. And they live in this house still. And the other daughter's gone. And she never swears. Never swears. I never heard this kid say swear in my life. Personally, I haven't. She may have, but I personally never heard it. And I'll tell you, my son every once in a while he's like, what the, and I'm hearing it. I'm like, and I always tell him, I'm like, listen, I don't care what you say when you're outside with your friends. I don't care because listen, your dad was like a walking truck driver, okay? But I was respectful in the house. When I was in the house, I was respectful. And then when I walked out the door to go to school in the morning, every other word came out of my mouth started with the letter F, okay? Started with the letter F, and I wasn't talking about fuzzy, furry, or Friday. No, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say it because I try not to swear still. But this was the thing. I was respectful. I was a respectful little guy, and I didn't swear. And I cooked in the house. I did the cooking. I enjoyed doing the cooking. I was a cooking guy. I did dishes. I did laundry. I took care of things. Dad, can I have $10? Can I get the new Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape? It was cassettes. Forget about CDs. We got cassette tape time. Can I please have $10? That's what they were going for. I wanted to go to the local Bradley's, or I wanted to go to local Ames, or I wanted to go to local Kmart, and I wanted to buy the new Ozzy Osbourne. So he starts flipping out on me. You're trying to take all my money. Now, number one, you got $340 or $360. I'm not trying to take all your money. I want $10. That's all I'm asking for. Is $10. Oh, you trying to take all my money? Because that's how my father talked. When after the no, after he said no to me, all I heard was and then something might come flying at me. Okay, he was good at throwing things at me. This guy, I'll tell you, he never played a sport in his life, but I'll tell you, he could huck a freaking vase across the room like Joe Montana. Okay, this guy was amazing. Like, he could hit me with the TV remote control from across the room, and I wouldn't even see that thing coming. And then the worst part is once I got hit in the back of the head with the TV remote control, the batteries would fly out, and they'd be like, "Now go find me those batteries." Like I was giving him the bullets to reload the gun. You know, it was, listen, this was much my childhood, okay? This was a great time. This was a fun time in my life. But I wanted the new Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape. And you're probably like, did you get it? Did you get it? You know, that's what you're saying. You said, I got a couple of viewers that are like, can you just get on with the unboxing or what you're going to show us or what's going on? Because I know you talk too much. Well, listen, when you turn on this channel, when you turn on this channel, you get a piece of me. You get a piece of my childhood. You get some venting. You get some comedy. If you're laughing right now at my craziness or whatever, I'm glad you're laughing. But my humor, no, my pain is your humor. Okay, so this is the deal. So Dad, can I please have $10 to get the new Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape? So he reaches into his wallet where he just got paid. He's got all his money in his hand. It's 340, 360. I know I'm in the right ballpark, and I'm sure if my mother's watching this, which I know sometimes she does watch this, and I kind of wish she wouldn't watch it sometimes, because sometimes I vent, and sometimes she don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear it. She don't want to accept what happened to us as a child. Or she don't want to take a responsibility for what happened to us as when we were kids. But we can't take back what happened in the past, and I got to live it every day, and I live it through medication. I got to medicate myself because things trigger me. I get messed up. So, but at the point in time when I'm entertaining, when I'm having a good time, when I'm there with them and I'm laughing and everything's great and we're chuckling and people are, I mean, rip roaring laughing, okay, and I feel good. It makes me feel good in my heart. It almost makes you feel like I had a purpose. I had a purpose for all that pain was to make somebody else laugh or smile or do something. And I've been doing that stuff for years. So once again, he's still standing there going, what's the story with the guitar? What's the story? Did you get the Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape? No, I did not get, at that point in time, the Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape. Because you want to know what happened? I asked the dad for $10. He pulled the money out of his wallet, all the money out of his wallet that he had, his whole paycheck. And he proceeded to rip it up into little pieces and throw it all. You want all my money? Take all my money. Take all my money. This is what the guy did. Take all my money. And he threw it at me. My mother's like in the other room or on the other side. She was somewhere. Okay, I don't know where she was, but he ripped up all his money, threw it on the ground. You want my money so bad, you take my money. That's what he did. That's craziness. That right there is craziness. There was something wrong with him. Okay, there's something wrong with him, and in turn, in the bloodstream or whatever, there's something wrong with this guy. Okay, there's something wrong with me. It carries on through the genes. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, my father. I didn't like to wear jeans as a kid, but obviously he passed those genes on to me, and now I wear jeans. I guess listen. I got a problem now because of all of this messed up stuff. So then, after he rips up all his money, I'm like, all I want, and I'm still standing there as a little kid. He's still standing, and now you get the tears trickling or whatever. You're still trickling there. What just happened? Dad just ripped up his whole entire paycheck. How are we gonna pay the bills? How are we gonna keep the electricity on? How are we gonna? I'm a kid, and I'm thinking about these issues, okay? Kids shouldn't think about these issues. Kids should not think about how the electricity is going to stay on, gas is going to stay on, whether or not the car insurance is going to get paid. As a little kid, you should not be thinking about this. And now I'm starting to think that it was Bark at the Moon, because I think I was a little bit younger. But anyway. But after he does this, he starts proceeding to go on this gigantic rant about how he can't have nothing. Because I think while he was ripping up his money and throwing it on the ground, I think he realized how stupid that was, and now he's going to go on to something else. This guy was on a full-on, out-of-control rant, losing his mind, kind of like what I do over here. And if you like, once again, hey, let me hit with this. If you like what I do over here, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. See how I did that right there? I'm gonna put the little thing. The little thing's gonna go over here because that was my cue to tell you guys. So hit the subscribe button because it makes me feel good. But anyway, is it done yet? Yeah, should be. Okay, hit the bell. Yeah, hit that bell too, because I've been posting a lot lately, okay? Because I've had a lot of stuff happen in my life. And when stuff happens in my life, I want you to be part of it because, like I said, this is a relationship. So anyway, he's losing it. Ripped up his money. He's upset. Then he's got that acoustic guitar that he loved. I mean, he hunted down this acoustic guitar. He bought it from I'm gonna try to say it right because the family and everybody in my life for years has messed up my pronunciation of this word. He bought it from a pawn shop, okay? Whenever I say pawn shop, I say pawn shop. He bought it from a pawn shop. And when I say pawn shop, people think he be out buying like dildos and X-rated movies. No, pawn shop, okay? He bought it from a pawn shop, a place where you bring your stuff to sell and trade. That I think that's what the definition of a pawn shop is. People make fun of me for years because I always say pawn shop. I say I'm going to the pawn shop. Can I watch you ever watch that Pawn Stars? I like to watch Pawn Stars, and they're like, you like to watch Pawn Stars? I'm sorry, Pawn Stars. Anyway, that's a problem all on my own. But after he's done ripping up this money, this guitar that he absolutely loved, he found it. I want to say it was a Gibson something acoustic guitar. He played this guitar everywhere. He loved this guitar. He used to bring it with him to school. He was a teacher. He used to bring him to school. He used to play it for the little kids. This was very much like a part of him. He was excited about this thing. He starts kicking the bejesus out of this thing. He's just smashing it. He's like, I can't have anything good. You take everything away from me. I can't have nothing. See, you want to take all my money? Now you want to take my guitar too? Now you want to take everything? I'm just a child. I'm standing there and I'm watching this. I'm like, what? All I asked for was $10. $10 over all of this? $10 over all of this? Are you crazy? You are. There's something. Listen, took me years to realize, but yes, there's something wrong. Something wrong, and it wasn't me. It wasn't wrong at the point right there. Whatever's going on with me right now is something that's wrong with me now. Okay, and it's probably due to all this buildup of craziness that I had to go through my life. This is just a for instance story that I wanted to tell you guys, but there was nothing wrong with me. I was a child, a little boy standing there. Who wasn't a moocher. I wasn't a moocher. I cooked. When I say I cooked supper for the family, I'm not saying I just cooked like I threw a TV dinner in the meal there. I'm talking fried chicken. I'm talking chicken breasts. I'm talking pork chops with mashed potatoes and corn and this. I'm talking meals. Okay, I trained myself. I used to watch this guy called the Frugal Gourmet. Used to love him. I was a little kid, used to love this guy called the Frugal Gourmet. And he taught me how to cook. Okay? And my father would only provide us with chicken quarters. Because chicken quarters at the time were $2.50 for a package of 6. Okay? And there was, how many people in our house here? It was me, my brother, my mother. It was 4. 4 people in my house. 4 people in my house. And we got the chicken quarters. And of course, 2 went to Dad. And then the last one would be cut up into pieces. And we'd all like, I distributed it throughout the whole family. But Dad had to get 2 because he was a big guy, 6 foot something, my father. And so I earned my keep. I was respectful. I didn't pray in my I should have been praying. I should have been doing more praying. I didn't swear in my house. I was respectful to my father. I was not disrespectful little punk starting trouble and did nothing, expected to get something. It was $10. And he destroyed everything. He destroyed. I mean, if I wish, you know how I put the video footage up here? I wish that sometimes I wish that I could suck the footage out of my mind and show everybody what exactly I saw through my eyes at whatever age I was. Because this was a crazy thing. If you got everybody here got families. You all got families. Imagine picturing your father ripping up cash, his whole entire paycheck, right in front of your eyes. Then taking an acoustic guitar, like I'm at a Kiss concert, and smashing it, putting his foot through it, destroying it. And then once everything was all done, now you could just think of the mess. You could just think of I'm picturing in my head right now, I'm picturing money all over the floor. I'm picturing shards of wood, acoustic guitar wood, and strings. And I can remember the bridge of the guitar was like one piece and he totally put his foot right through the base of it. There was no fixing this guitar. This is not one of these things like he could have, like if he would have ripped the strings out and said, haha, nah, I'm mad at you or whatever. He probably could have took and got it fixed. This was beyond repair. And after this whole chaos is all done, everything is all messed up. He looked at my mother and he tells my mother, now go get some tape and put that money back together again. This was very much a real thing in my house. And I tell people these stories and they laugh. They laugh about it. They laugh about it. They think it's funny and everything like that. And I'm thankful. Listen, I always tell everybody this. I always say this all the time. I've been saying this for years. If I could make one person laugh, smile, chuckle, do something, then my job is done. Then all these struggles and messed up things that I went through in my childhood made somebody happy. If you're happy, if you're laughing right now and you're picturing this whole vision of this crazy man ripping up his money and smashing his guitar, good. I listen, I'm glad you're laughing. But unfortunately, these are triggers for me. So I talk about them. And I'll tell you right now, talking to you guys, I'm perfectly fine. But you bring the old people back in the picture, like it's like almost having like the reunion of the cast of This Is Your Messed Up Life. Okay, so you bring the reunion folk back to the picture, and it done messes you up. It really does, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's just you see them and you picture them there. You picture them in these situations. I'm going on. Yeah, I got a box here. I got a box here from Vinegar Syndrome. That's where I'm going with this, and I'm gonna open up the box. That's where I'm at. And I'm gonna go on a little bit more about my weekend there, so you know what's going on there. But yeah, you bring the people back into your life and whatever, and then my brother, he's there. Okay, and we're talking about my wife. Talking about my wife when I'm like, my wife's sitting right outside of me, and my wife's like, I remember the first time I met your father. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. We're not going to talk about that story. We're not going to talk about that story about the first time that you met my father. Because that was a mess. Now my dad, 6 foot something. Big man. Big bellied man, 6 foot, big bellied man, burly man, big man, hairy big man, big hairy man. Okay. 6 feet tall, 6'2", I think, 6'2". My wife, she would come over to visit, dating at the time, she'd come over to the house to visit, whatever, and I would shut my door. That was the thing. I was allowed to shut my door. I was older. I mean, I want to say I was 17, 18 or whatever, probably like 17. I think it was like 17 or whatever. And she come over to the house, we dating or whatever. And she had to be home by a certain time. I think it was like 11 o'clock or whatever it was. So I'm like, okay, well, it's time for us to go. Let's leave or whatever. I open up the door, and there he is. There he is in all his glory. Now, my father was a special man who didn't like to wear nothing but underwear. That's all he wore. All he wore was underwear. During the day, he'd come home from work into the underwear. He'd be home all through the afternoon in his underwear. I thought that was a normal attire. For years and years, I thought that's what a father wore. They come home from work, they take their clothes, because he worked at a mill for a while, so he had all clothes all full of like dye and stuff like that, because he worked in a mill that dyed material. And he'd come home with all full of dye. He was the dye man, or whatever, he used to mix the dye. And he'd take his clothes off, and he'd sit there in his underwear. Okay, now his underwear, that's a story in itself. I'm gonna ask you guys this, okay? Because to this day, I think I have a phobia that has been brought onto me because of my father. The phobia has been brought onto my father is I literally, and this is no joking, change my underwear 3 times a day. 3 times a day, I change my underwear. And I shower twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, because I always feel dirty. I always feel dirty. I don't know what that is. That's another thing that I guess has been passed on to me, that a special little gift that dad done give me that makes me feel dirty, because his underwear always had skid marks on the back. There was always skid marks on the back of his underwear, and the front was yellow. It was always yellow in the front, skid marks in the back. You know, like the guys with the mullets there, party in the front, and what is it? Business in the front, party in the back. It was yellow in the front, skid marks in the back. I thought this was a normal thing. And he would sit around the house all day, and when he get off a chair, there was a smell. There was a smell when he got off the chair, and be stinking. He'd be stinking, and he didn't care. And on top of that, all of his underwear must have been blessed by God, because they were holy. They were so holy. They were ripping at the bands, and it was just like material hanging. These things were it was like Hands Across America. These things were just holding on for dear life, okay? They were barely making it, and there'd be giant holes in the back, like, I don't know, like he was trying to hop fences or something. There'd be a hole like over there, you see like half a hairy butthole hanging out. This was very much true. So this is the stuff that when me and my brother get back together, we reminisce. We be reminiscing about these times. Hey, remember when Dad, the way when he used to have those underwear on, and he used to do that all the time. And he's like, yes, I remember. And then my mother comes out of the room, and I'm like, Ma, hey, listen. She's all happy because the family's back together again, smiling from ear to ear. Oh, you guys want some Charisse dogs and not Charisse dogs, Charisse patties? You want some cheeseburgers? What do you guys want? Big smile on her face, smile from ear to ear. Me and my brother be talking about my wife talking about my father's ripped, holy, crap-filled, urine-filled underwear, because the first time my wife left the room to go home, this was the vision she saw. And this is why I know my wife is the one that was meant for me, because she stayed around after seeing this mess. She stayed around for 20 some odd years after seeing this mess. She walked out of that room and I can't get the vision out of my head. It was like seeing a car crash or a murder or something. You can't get the vision out of your head. You saw something really bad. My father standing there, bottle of Coca-Cola, chugging the bottle of Coca-Cola in the refrigerator light, the silhouette from the refrigerator light, but just flashing on him over there, and standing there in his underwear with the rips over here and the crap stains and the urine, and he's just standing there. And I looked at my wife at the time we were dating or whatever. This was like maybe third or fourth, fifth date or whatever, and I'm like, just keep walking. Just don't look again. This is like a Medusa issue. Don't look again. You're gonna turn into stone. Just keep walking. Just walk. Don't say nothing. Don't interact. I don't even know how he could interact and have a conversation in his attire. I don't know how you could stop and say, "Oh, you have a good night, young lady." You know what I mean? If you're standing there in your ripped, skid mark filled, urine filled underwear, chugging from the bottle. We all drink from this bottle. We all be drinking from these bottles. He get up at like 11 o'clock at night, drinking the bottle that I paid for. I paid for that bottle. So he's drinking it, standing in his underwear, silhouette. And my wife's reminiscing about this here at the cookout. We go to the special cookout and we reminiscing about the time my dad did the jig on his guitar, and we reminiscing about how he the first time my wife ever met him. And then my brother chimes in, and I get, you know what the cool thing is, sometimes I get my stories a little jumbled. I get them a little jumbled when I tell my stories. I think I take like one day and I cram it into another day. Maybe I don't want to relive every single day in particular. My brother recorrected me, but the stories were still true. He corrected me because there was a time when my father used to steal my brother's wallet. A checkbook, stole his checkbook, and he was holding it for ransom. He's like, "Listen, if you don't give me $350, I'm not giving you back your checkbook." We used to do this, was like a thing. And my brother left. I took off. I hit a certain age, and I got my own apartment, and I took off. And then I ended up coming back for a little bit, and I took off again. And my brother stood around for a while. He finished college, and he did his thing where he had to stay with this man a little bit longer. But luckily, my mother and father were divorced. My father started dating according to my brother. He started buying some new underwear, and things were all going good. Whew. But anyway, but yeah, my father holding his checkbook of ransom, and then this is one of my favorite all time stories. My father being a teacher, he's not a teacher no more. He retired, he's gone. I don't even know where he is. I don't know. He took off. We had a blowout, and I haven't talked to him in, so how old was my son? 17, probably about 15 years. 15 years I have not talked to my father. I don't know where he is, and don't even matter. Don't even matter at this point. He's gone. But anyway. He had a gambling problem, okay? He had a gambling problem. I think he went to Gamblers Anonymous and everything, okay? And at the time, me and my wife were dating. He would ask my wife, like, "Hey, you need to go do laundry today? I'm gonna pick you up so we can go to the laundromat." And right outside the laundromat was a place where you could buy scratch tickets. He was a scratch ticket guy. He wasn't so much a gambler guy. He wasn't betting on the ponies. He wasn't betting on what else do people bet on nowadays? They bet on the horses. He wasn't that guy. Okay, he was more of like a highlight guy, or a scratching tickets guy, or a casino guy. He was one of those guys. So he's going through this Gamblers Anonymous thing, so he takes my wife to he's like begging my wife to go to laundry. "I'll pay for you to get your laundry done." My wife's like, "Okay, I'll go with you for a ride to go get your laundry done." Goes for a ride to go get the laundry done. He buys the scratch tickets, and he'd stand over my wife and tell my wife to scratch them for her. Now, I don't know if this is for him. I don't know if this is a Gamblers Anonymous thing. Now, you people have gambling problems, have been to maybe Gamblers Anonymous, you can comment below. Do they tell you that, listen, you can quit gambling because you're losing all your money and you're messing up your whole life, but you can have other people gamble for you and you can watch. That's I guess that was a thing that he had figured out in his life. And my wife would go with him and he'd buy like these rows and rows of scratch tickets and he'd tell her to scratch while he stood over her shoulder. Now, I don't know what the difference is. That's a strange thing because, I mean, personally, if you're standing over the person and you're also still spending your money and you're still gambling and you got some, because when he won or she won, the money went back to him. So technically he was still gambling. So this was all like a big thing, but there was an instance in that he went gambling. He went to a casino, and he was a teacher. And if anybody remembers the book fund money back in the day, the kids had book funds, troll book funds, and book fund money. They had this thing going on, okay, where the kids would bring in their money and they were expected to order books from like a little farm. You guys remember this stuff. This is not something new, and it still happens now. Now I think it's called Scholastic Books, okay? Scholastic Books does it now. Back in the day, it was called Troll Books or whatever. But he collected all this money from these kids, and I guess he sat down and he opened up every single envelope and he took that stuff up to go gamble. And he lost all of it. He lost all the kids' money. And he was about ready to lose his job. He was like, he's crying. This is a grown man. He had to be like in his 40s, late 30s, early 40s. And he's crying. And my brother's working. He's sitting outside my brother's work. And he's crying his eyes out. And my brother comes out. And I was working at the same time in the same building. And my brother contacts me like, Dad's outside my work. He's sitting on a bench and he's crying. What do I do? I'm like, I don't know. Go outside and ask him why he's crying. I mean, what do you say at that occasion? Go outside, ask him why he's crying. So he goes outside, asks Dad why he's crying. Comes back and calls me up because I guess I was the voice of reason. Okay, now I'm not gonna say the F word. Okay, because I try to keep this place PG. I try to keep it very clear. Every once in a while something slips up, but I try my best. My brother calls me up. He's like, Dad's outside. He just gambled all the money from the school. Gambled all his money. He needs like $350 or whatever. If he doesn't pay the $350, he's going to lose his job. He's going to lose his job. What do I do? He's asking me for $350. Now, my response to that was, he better not ask me for $350 because I ain't going to give him a dime. I ain't giving him nothing. I ain't giving him $350. Listen, you need to realize the consequences for your stupidity. That's the way I felt. Now all of a sudden, the teacher, the student becomes the teacher, okay? If you do something stupid in your life and everybody's going to bail you out every time you have a problem, somebody's going to bail you out every time you have a situation, you're going to keep doing it. You ain't going to learn from your mistakes. Now, this was a serious mistake. Now, this guy probably could have did some jail time for this. He definitely would have lost his job. Probably could have did some jail time. This was theft. I mean, I don't know what the minimum whatever the thing is for jail time from stealing, but this was theft. So my brother's on the phone. He's like, that's like my whole paycheck. What do I do? What do I do? I'm like, buddy, you got to do whatever's on your heart. You want to go help Dad out and give him your $350? You go give me your $350. I'm not giving him anything. I said, look, that's why he went to you. He didn't go to me because I want to give him nothing. Because you know what? He deserved whatever he had coming to him. That was stupid. That was just plain stupid. You just stole. You stole from like, what? A fifth grade kids? A fourth grade guy? I forgot what year he was teaching or whatever. You just stole their book money. You deserve whatever you get. That's what you deserve. You don't deserve anything. You done messed up. You messed up in your life. You messed up on a lot of different things. Take some damn responsibility for the things that you do in your life. Take responsibility for where your kids feel. Take responsibility for what you have said to people and what you have done to people. Listen, I am so tired. I am so tired of people not taking responsibility for their own actions. If I screw up, if this guy right here makes a mistake, I take responsibility for my mistakes. I don't push it on to the next guy. I don't pawn it off to the next person and try to make it their mistake. No. So I go to the cookout, and I'm having a good time. And no hurt or disrespect to my mother, because I know she watches these things. I know she's a subscriber. And the funny thing is, every once in a while, I'll do a video, and I'll mention my childhood, and I lose 2 subscribers. Okay, it's an ironic thing. It's kind of funny. I don't know. But then I gain them back on a Monday. And I always say, as jokingly, because it's probably not her. I'm like, I think it's the family. I think my mother and my brother be unsubscribing to me because I'd be talking about the family again. But listen, we were all there. We were all living through this mess. I'm at a point in my life where I ain't blaming nobody for anything anymore. I'm not blaming people for things. I didn't get that Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape. My mother, in fact, had to tape up all of that money. Months later, my dad went out and bought himself another guitar. And I did get the Ozzy Osbourne cassette tape, but I went to Bradley's and I stole it. That's what I did. And I was a good kid. I was a good kid, but there was no other way of me to get it. And I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong to steal. I'm a grown adult now, and even during the process, I knew it was wrong to steal. But you know what? I started stealing after that. It was a messed up thing, is because it caused me to start stealing. I would literally take at the time, if you remember, they put the cassette tapes in these long plastic, non-stealable containers. They were long and plastic. You'd have to take them to the register. They had a key to pop them out to give you the cassette tapes. Well, I would go to the stores with a razor blade cupped in my hand. I'd wedge it in between my fingers like this and close my fingers like that, so you couldn't see the razor blade. I'd walk in like this, very nonchalantly and calm, with the razor blade. I'd go up to the cassette tape I wanted, and I'd put some pressure on the top of the cassette tape, cutting the top of the cassette tape plastic thing open. I'd slide the cassette tape out, put it in my pockets. And this was back in the day when they didn't have like the major security cameras that they have now. This was when they had like the one random camera, they'd have one maybe, you know what I mean? And I got away with it. And that's what I had to do. Now, was it wrong? Absolutely. Do I know it was wrong? Absolutely. Was I hurt, confused, jealous of what other people had? Man, it was $10. And I'll tell you right now, this is the thing with me. I learned from my family mistakes. I learned from my father, okay? I've reached a point in my life where the things that happen between my mother and father, I don't count them as like abuse anymore. It's more of like it was educational tools on what not to do. Okay, my son now, he asks me for $10 or something. He knows this story. Everybody in my family knows this story. I've told every single one of my children this story. Why? So they don't go through what I went through. So they don't have to go through. My son comes to me and said, "Dad, can I have $10? If I have $10 to give him, I give him the $10 very, very cheerfully. I'm a cheerful giver. Here you go, bud. Here's $10. You know what? By the way, it's not gonna be just $10. You're gonna need tax money. I'm gonna give you a little bit more so you can pay for the tax. But sometimes I don't have it, and if I don't have it, I tell him, buddy, I don't have it right now. If you can wait a little bit, maybe a couple days, till I get some money, I'll give it to you. Okay? You work hard around here. You do stuff. You outside feeding the chickens, cutting the grass. You're cleaning. You're doing stuff. You deserve it. But right now, Dad just don't have it. And listen, remember the story I told you about your grandfather? Remember I told you the story I told you about that? I don't want you stealing. I know you want it really bad. I know your friends got it. I know you want it too. Don't steal it. Just hang tight. Hang tight. Have a little faith in Dad. I'm going to get it for you. I'm going to get you the money. I promise. Listen, I appreciate you. That's one thing I never got in my house. I never got that. Never once did I did I ever get told, thank you for the supper. I appreciate what you did. Thank you for cleaning the house. My allowance was literally $5 a week. That's what my father would give me, was $5 a week usually. That was my allowance for everything I did. And this was a Monday through Sunday thing. My mother worked, my father worked. I'd come home, had to take care of my brother. Sometimes I had to make sure he was clean. Sometimes I had to make sure that he was taken care of. I had to make sure he was fed. As a baby, sometimes I would feed him. Listen, this was very much a thing. And I would get $5 a week for it. And this was a fiasco. So I think that's a reason why I'm such a collector right now. I'm trying to replenish my childhood. I'm trying to take it back. Listen, I got Peter Pan syndrome. Okay, what you're looking at right now is a hurt man with some Peter Pan syndrome. So after I go to this cookout thing and I had a great time, I knew I was gonna have a full-blown anxiety attack. I knew that I was gonna get messed up. Okay, but I was making people laugh and I'm reminiscing about my good times and I'm telling them stories and everything's going good. But I knew I was going to have a full-blown attack. So then, Sunday. We're on Sunday here. I'm going to try to post this thing today. It's probably going to be a double video tonight because I had one that was supposed to be posted already today. But I want to tell you about my weekend. And I got a package. So I have a full-blown anxiety attack last night. Bad one. I mean, to the point where I was ready to tell my wife, let's go to the hospital. It's time to go I can't breathe. I took a COVID test. I took the vid test. To make sure I didn't have it, okay? Because when you can't breathe nowadays, that's the new trigger. That's the new thing is when you're having problems breathing nowadays, this is me. I take a test to make sure that I don't have the vid. I want to make sure that I'm not sick. And it came out negative, so I'm like, oh, it's just anxiety again. Okay, so once again, I take my pill for my anxiety, and I try to lay down in bed, but then you can't lay down in bed. You got this. People have anxiety attacks. They got like this energy, this like nervous energy. Okay, and you got to walk around and move around, get your mind off things. Sometimes I try to find a focal point. Sometimes I try to I'll go for a walk outside. Sometimes I splash some water on my face in the bathroom, and I try to put myself in a happy place somewhere. But there was no turning back last night. It was a tough one. On top of that, let me just put this on the side. That my daughter, we went on. So this was Saturday morning. This is all Saturday. This is everything that just happened to me, and I told you about was all Saturday. Saturday morning, we went to. I want to see if I can do this thing without. All right, let me see if I can. So on Saturday night, we could do this. I'll go like this. She had a play called Our Town. Our Town. Yeah, our town that she was in. My not my oldest daughter, my second to oldest daughter, the 20-year-old. She was in a play called Our Town, which I told her, I said, don't tell me about it. I don't want to know anything about it because I want to be surprised. I like sometimes I like to play, like if I knew I was going to see Grease, I'm sure I put that over here without messing anything up. If I knew I was going to go see Grease or Little Shop of Horrors or one of those things like that, I know what I was going to see. But this one I wanted to be surprised because I never heard of the town. I never heard of Our Town. I never heard of the play before. So I'm like, I'll just be happy about going to the play. So granted, we just had this family get together. I got this little stuff going on, trying to recover from that, and then we go see this Our Town thing. And the play was she did an amazing job. She looked absolutely beautiful up there. I was so proud of her. I'm one of them proud dads. You know, when my kids do anything, because I didn't have the opportunity to do things as a kid. Okay, my son, he always gets mad at me. He's like, "How come you don't like basketball, Dad? How come you don't like football, Dad? How come you don't like hockey, Dad? How come you don't watch sports on TV like the other dads?" Well, your dad wanted to play football and basketball and hockey, and I had a father that had no time for me. He had no time to take his son to go play baseball. He had no time to take his son to go play football or basketball. I wanted to play it. So I ended up resenting sports. I resented sports because I wanted to be out there on the field or the court. That was me. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be out there. But he had no time for me. So my son says this to me all the time. So whenever my kids do something, I look at them like they're stars. Like, thank you. Thank you thank you that I was blessed with 4 children that had opportunities to do things because I pushed, me and the mom, we pushed ourselves, tired as could be, whatever we had to do to make sure that they had a better life than we had. Okay, my youngest daughter, she did ballet, she did dance. Okay, she was involved in things. Okay, they went to camps. We were there. Plays galore. All my kids were in plays. Every single one of my kids were in plays, and they did a lot of them. I think I want to say that this play in particular that my second to oldest daughter was doing. I want to say this was her 17th play or 17th big name performance or whatever in something, and so I'm a proud dad. My son plays basketball, played football. My other soccer. My other daughter karate. She was in karate. She was in plays also. Okay, they all had things going on. I did not lose that opportunity to make sure that they had something because I didn't want them to feel the way I ever felt. So we go to see this play, and if you don't know, if you've seen Our Town or you know what Our Town is, it's all about this town, and then at the end, there's like, it's like the girl dies. This husband and wife get married, and then she dies, and she goes to like this purgatory type situation where they're all sitting in chairs, and then the narrator comes out and is like, I'll give you 1 day to go back and look at your life. You pick a day and go back into your life, but you're not gonna want to do it. Don't do it. All the dead people sitting in chairs yelling at her, don't do it. Don't go back and look at your life for any day. You don't want to go back. Once you're dead, you never want to go back. Once you're done and you leave this earth, you never want to go back and relive your life because it's going to hurt too much. And people are stubborn. She's like, yeah, I want to go back. You can pick any day you want. So she picks, I think, a birthday at age 12. And she go and they let her go back and revision her life. And you know, when you have a tough life and you go see things like this, you start to think, what was going on through my mind is, what day would I revision? What day would I want to go back? What was the happiest moment in my life? But I wasn't thinking about like when I met my wife. I wasn't thinking about when my child was born. I was thinking about the 12-year-old me. Okay, because it was a 12-year-old her going back to visit the 12-year-old her. And I was thinking, what was I doing when I was 12? And I can honestly tell you, I couldn't think of one revisionable moment in my life that I would have wanted to go back and relive when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? I ran through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What? If you could go back and vision a 12-year-old birthday or an 8-year-old birthday or whatever, I can't remember my 8-year-old birthday. I can't remember my 12th-year-old birthday. I can't remember any of that stuff. Wanna know why? Because this mind, it blocked me out. It blocked me out. It blacked me out. It wasn't a it wasn't a good time in my life. My parents fight. They used to fight all the time, and it wasn't just like arguing, verbal arguing. Things would get thrown. There was things flying across the house. Things would get broken, shattered, smashed, destroyed. And I want to go back to that time, that point in my life to go see that all again. I couldn't think of a day. So it's not that the play was extraordinary. My daughter did a beautiful job. I looked at her and I was like, you're so beautiful and so talented. And I'm so happy about you. And I'm so happy about where my life is right now. But man, you go back and you start to try to look at things and you're like, whoa, I wouldn't go back to any of those days. What day should I go back to? My 12th-year-old day? My father ripped up all his money, smashed his guitar to smithereens, yelled at my mother to go tape up the money, and then I had to go out and shoplift in order to get the things I wanted. That's the day I want to go back to. All right. I got a package. Had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. Okay, it was a positive weekend. I enjoyed the time at my my mother's barbecue. It was actually really, really good, enjoyable. I had a lot of fun. I made some new guy that I met laugh. My daughter brought some guy over that she wanted me to meet. That was interesting. And my brother was there. Man, my brother's never at these things usually. Usually he's not there, but he was there with his son and his daughter, and it was all good. It was all good. I got no negativity going to be thrown at you today about that, for instance, because I was sitting on the side of my daughter, sitting on the side of my wife, looking over at my other daughter. My mother-in-law was there too, and I felt nothing but the love, and this new guy was laughing his head off, so thank God. All right. Did I pick this up right? If not, I'm going to edit it. All right. So the package gets thrown across the porch because that's what the people from Federal Express do. This was a Federal Express drop-off. Thank you very much, Mr. Yep, Federal Express is right in the front. There's a Federal Express drop-off. And this guy literally slid it. What is this guy sliding across the porch? Hopefully it's not breakable. And it is a copy of... Oh, I forgot I ordered this. Okay. All right. First of all, let's throw out what we got here. We got a card here that says... it's a Vinegar Syndrome postcard that says... The Bride Gaport, Connecticut. What is? I don't even know what that is. Is it a movie? Is that a movie? I don't know. Bride Gaport. It is definitely it says from greetings from Bride Gaport, Connecticut. I don't know. Maybe that's where Vinegar Syndrome is located. I have no idea. But that was right on top here. And then it's a copy. I'm going to save this in case I got to ship something later on. Copy of Cloak and Dagger. Movie from my childhood. Starring the kid from E.T., if I remember correctly. This was an after E.T. Decided he was going to do a movie. He plays video games on like an Atari, okay? And I believe it was Atari something, 2600 or something like that. And he has like an imaginary friend, which is a... like an undercover CIA agent. He's like an undercover guy there, like a spy or a espionage spy or whatever. So as he's going on his adventure, he keeps picturing this spy guy or whatever. And let's see how does this thing open up here so I can. Oh, okay, we got the little magnetic flipper thing here. And ooh, that's pretty cool. Look, open that bad boy up, and it's got this is the game. This is a picture of the game that he used to play. for the Atari thing there. And then what's cool is the disc thing on it. Is this a disc cover? Let me see if I can slide this up. Is this? Oh, it's got a book and everything. Okay, wait. So the disc cover thing. Let me maneuver some stuff here. I'm maneuvering some things. Hang on. That's cool. I had to hold that. I thought it was like a real sticker. It looks like an old Atari game, like I would buy back in the day. If you guys, so an Atari game, my younger friends would be a Xbox, whatever they're up to, 360, whatever, one plus or whatever, or a PS 400,000 or whatever, wherever that there. Yeah, it would be a game like that, except graphics looked like crapola. Okay, it wasn't like it was nowadays. You had to really use your imagination. And then we get a disc thing here, and it is a 4K. So here's the cover thing, and that's pretty cool right there. Let me hold that nice and clear there. Hopefully you got that zooming in properly. And then there's the back of the cover. So nice little slipcase thing. And then we get the 4K Ultra HD, which I'm going to open. Why do I'm going to open it? Because if it does come with a digital, which I don't know if this thing does or not, doesn't say anything about digital. My biggest concern with this was I own this on DVD. So this was an upgrade from the DVDs. I really enjoyed this movie. It's like one of those movies from my childhood. And if you haven't noticed, movies were the bulk of my childhood because locking myself in the bedroom and watching a movie was my best option in my life, okay? My best option was to lock myself in the bedroom and watch me some movies because that's when I was the happiest, okay? It comes with, wait a minute, let me make sure. Good. Comes with the Blu-ray and the 4K. And the reason why I'm excited about the Blu-ray and the 4K is because if you watch this channel, we have one 4K player in this house. It's in the living room. The kids and the wife are always in the living room, so I never get to watch the 4Ks in the living room. So I'm in the bedroom. I'm gonna be watching the Blu-ray. So I was happy. I'm always happy when I get the Blu-ray. Okay, so people say, I don't know, 4K is the best way to go, but you know what? Be perfectly honest with you, Blu-ray to me, this is me, is the best way to go because personally, they put all the special features usually on the Blu-ray. I can play the Blu-ray in almost every room in my house, including the movie room and everything else. I can play the Blu-ray. But the only 4K player I have is in the living room. I got a 4K TV in the living room and a 4K Blu-ray, 4K player in the living room. But I can't enjoy it because that's where my wife plants herself and watches her movies, and my kids watch their TV shows and they stream their stuff in there. I'm not a streaming guy, you know that. So, yeah, it's better when I lock myself in the... And we got a book here. This is Cloak and Dagger. It says confidential on this thing. I'm going to give you a little quick thumb through here. Hopefully you get all that while I'm thumbing it through. I haven't even looked at it yet, so first time you, and not me. Hopefully you get some. I know I'm probably skipping pages and everything like that. But if you get the box set, you'll understand. I love when they do these little ribbon things. If you look inside the box, it says inside Game Over. And I love when they do that because that way you don't have a problem trying to maneuver your fingers into the thing and trying to get the stuff out, get all the stuff out of things. So I put it in there like so, and then say I want to see the movie. I just give it a little tuggy, little tuggy, and I am good to go. I like the little magnetic thing. Reminds me a lot of Beastmaster. I own a copy of Beastmaster. I'm sweating today. Sorry, my friends. This was a tough video, my friends. A tough video to make. But I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, Cloak and Dagger, available from Vinegar Syndrome. I pre-ordered this thing a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Yeah, and I forgot about it. I forgot I ordered it because I ordered like 3 copies from Vinegar Syndrome. And I like when I do that because then it's like I forget about it, and then when it comes flying across my porch, I'm like, there it is. And yeah, I will be indulging myself in some Cloak and Dagger, which yeah, that's exactly what it's about. It's about this kid. He's got his imaginary friend who's like an espionage type spy or whatever, and he ends up falling into like this other thing where he believes that he's in like a spy situation, which he actually is, and his imaginary spy friend helps him through to guide him how to get the bad guys. Okay, and he's got a computer genius guy, like a guy that programs computers and everything, because the kid's like a computer nerd, almost like a war games. I would classify this. I'm gonna file this right on the side of war games. This is like a war games. Okay, this is like a he didn't like global thermonuclear war. No, he didn't go do anything like that. But it's kind of computer oriented, whatever. And even kind of reminds me a little bit of the beginning of Big. You know, when he's playing the game, he's playing that game about the Iceman there and everything. That's what this reminds me of, because it's like an old school Atari type thing. And with that said, my friend, I'm not gonna oh man, I'll pick it up. I'm not going to mess you up anymore today. Listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. I had a long talk with the wife this weekend. I'm like, listen, you don't understand how much I appreciate my subscribers. You people like family, okay? Not family. Maybe I shouldn't say that, because you see what my family does. But you people are different. You're different. You set apart. You're good people. And I enjoy your subscriptions. And I enjoy your conversations. I love when you guys comment. So please comment below. Yes, crazy guy. You went through some stuff. So with that said, my friends, please do me a favor. Please hit that like button if you like what you saw. If you didn't like what you saw, you don't have to hit the like button. I ain't forcing nobody to do nothing. But I really would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button, because I don't have much joy in my life sometimes. And the biggest joy I get is by seeing my subscriber count go up, okay? It went up 3 this weekend. The funny thing is, I don't expect nothing from anybody. I don't expect you to do anything. But when it does go up, I feel so good about myself. I feel like I accomplished something. I feel like everything that I did in my life, all this mess that I just told you and you just sat through, was for something, okay? So please do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And I will see you later.